Hello, 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 everybody. This is Pastor Lan again, back for another edition of Light 360. So excited to come back to you today. We had a powerful time yesterday with Dr. Enya Daniels. It was such a wonderful discussion. And thanks to all of you for your feedback on that, on yesterday's show. I told you we're going to have a short week today, this week, because of in the United States, it's the Thanksgiving weekend. So tomorrow, we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. A lot of turkeys have already died for that purpose. I pity the turkeys. But isn't it wonderful to be able to come together, with your family as much as you can during this pandemic time, and just, as a nation, give thanks to God. No matter what has happened this year, 2020, and I know a lot of things have happened in 2020 to every one of us. A lot of things have happened in our nation. I was, just before I came up, one of my sons was telling me, he had that one of the soccer superstar that he really, he admired the skill. Diego Maradona just passed away today. And it's like, wow. So that a lot of famous people have died this year, starting from Kobe, and then just, so many people, to the Jeopardy guys, like rappers and all kinds, And of course, we can't forget the over 250,000 people that have died of COVID in the United States and also all around the world, because I know people are watching from, other nations here. So it's been a tough year generally for the world, but I was in January. I preached a message in church. Then it was actually the day that Kobe died. I did not even know. I had not heard the news, and I preached that message. It was that in the year that King Uzziah died, Isaiah saw the Lord. That was I called the Go Low for the God show. So basically, the Spirit of God brought to me that there will be a lot of, death and destruction this year. But in the midst of it all, we're going to see the Lord. We're going to experience the God show. And I can say it, that despite all these things, it's been a God show. And I know that in your own life too, no matter what has happened, God has showed up in one way or the other. So if that is your case, can I get a witness, from those of you who are watching? That would be awesome. So that's why I think it's really appropriate. It's really great for us to take some time to praise God and to thank God. So Thanksgiving is in order. Thanksgiving is a daily thing, but it's in order, and it's good that we have a time that we can all come together and just say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Relaxing, and the weekend, just spending it, with my, family and friends, and just giving God glory. So this will be our last broadcast for Light 360 for this week. And then next week that's going to be our final week for this season. And we're going to be closing it for this year to come back again February of 2021. So it's been such a powerful time. Season 2 started in August, and we've had so many powerful, encouraging stories. I go to my YouTube page and Facebook page. Sometimes I just look at them, and just all the unique stories that, we've been able to share with you all. So awesome. So I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving with your family. So take some time to praise God, and take time to also think of people who don't have, maybe they don't have the privileges that you may be enjoying. Another conversation I had earlier today was, I was just looking at the news, and online, and I saw that this year a lot of people are lining up, like in the United States, with their cars or on the line to get food. A lot of families, like the millions of families, because of people that are out of job. And I also had this experience, for about 2 days, in the last, I think 2 days ago, yesterday, we didn't do yesterday, but 2 days before yesterday, we were driving around and delivering food and talking to people here in Rogers Park, Chicago. I was really, really touched by the stories of various people that I met. I had the opportunity to meet people from different families, and they were all sharing stories of lost jobs and all that. So, but anyways, we thank God in the midst of it. So let's be generous. Let's be grateful to God. Let's be generous. Think of somebody who may not have something, and give them a call or send something to them if you can. So welcome you all. Please put in the chat. We can interact with your chats, where you are watching from. Join us in the conversation as we go on. Also, please don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube page. Like me on Twitter if you're watching on Twitter. Like me on like my page on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook if you are watching in any of those platforms. But we'd love to see your comment. And we're going to go ahead right now. I have someone joining us today, another very special, anointed, called, gifted individual, somebody who is a light in her own right. She's shining in the place where God has put her. I've known her for a couple of years right now. And one thing I've come to discover about her is a passion for excellence, a passion for systems, for order, of course, a passion for people. You're all going to get to know her. She's one of the smartest people that I have been privileged to meet. She's oh wow, watching from Rwanda. Thank you. One of the smartest people I've been privileged to meet, and sometimes she doubts herself, but she's a sweet person. She's a wonderful person, and God has been doing a great work inside of her. God actually used her to help build the Life Development Center, from which this Light 360 came out. She came in there and just put in gifts, effort, everything, and just brought forth a lot of things that were hidden about the Life Development Center. So, awesome person. And apart from that, God has also used that to build that gift that God has given her to build other organizations and to help other people. And I just want her to share a story. I know that some of you will be able to benefit from her story. Also, you'll be able to benefit from her gift, because you can reach out to her and she can help you. If you have an organization that needs to be structured, put into systems that are effective and all that, she has a business that actually deals with that, which she's going to be sharing about. So why don't we, let's welcome to Light 360 today, the person of Miss Esi Omoh. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Such a
good. I call you Esi or Esi Loza?
You can call me Esi.
Okay. Awesome. So, for some time right now, I think we skipped a few, maybe like a week. We'll be having our check-ins on Wednesday. So this is our public check-in.
Yeah.
for this Wednesday.
Check-in.
So yes. How are you doing, Esi? How are you doing today? And tell me.
I'm doing very good. I mean, this will be my debut first ever social media interview, so I'm a little nervous, but I think everybody's gonna enjoy what I have to say.
Don't worry, I know God in you, so you'll do well. You are gifted for it. You are called for it. So what's just based on what I just said in my monologue, what do you think? Thanksgiving. What are you thinking about? The United States 2020 Thanksgiving and all that. Tomorrow. Just give us your own perspective.
Well, before I start, I would like to ask permission. Can I be just real?
Yeah, this is about being real.
I am thankful for the sound mind and good health and all the great things God has given me, but I'm very thankful about the food I am about to digest. The blessing that my stomach is about to receive is what I'm very thankful for right now. But on a serious note, I'm very thankful that despite everything happening, God has kept me. My bank account is not in the negative. I have food on my table. I can smile. My family is okay. My immediate, while we have suffered some losses in the last year or two, my immediate nuclear family is 100% okay. So I know that's not the narrative for a lot of people. And I just want to just say my heart goes out to everybody out there who might be in some form struggling or experiencing loss, disappointment, sadness, anything negative that, I stand with you to be a positive beacon because I have people in my life who have stood there in the battlegrounds with me. So no pain is too little.
Yeah.
If you're going through it, embrace it, go through the healing, and don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's about time. You need to come out of that. Go through it, heal, and come out stronger.
Very good. Thank you. I forgot to mention that, when I was reciting all your, how do they say, qualifications, forgot to mention that you're also a comedian. Comedian and MC Ricey Eyes.
Yes, yes.
I understand that you are having a divorce from Rice.
So let's talk about it. We're keeping it real, right? Let's talk about it. So everybody that knows me that if you slice me, it's not blood that will flow through my veins. It's rice, particularly the worst kind, white rice. White rice. So I have different, I won't call it alter egos, but personas. There's the professional Esi Omoh. There is MC Ricey Ice, and Ricey Ice because rice is my number one top choice meal, and then ice because as an MC, I could make your event shine like diamonds. And then, of course, there is this new persona that emerged a little over 2 years ago called DJ Jazzy Jollof.
Oh, wow. I forgot to mention that,
Oh, there's a lot more, but we're just going to stick with those, And, of course, a tribute, an ode to my favorite type of rice, jollof rice. But I was dating somebody who was just like into the music scene. And I was like, I like music. But then I started seeing how I can really, really influence the atmosphere with my playlists. So I decided that I was going to be DJ Jazzy Jollof.
Okay.
Awesome. And I'm trying to let go of the rice.
How is that going? It's very hard to let go of somebody you love, something. I was reading one of your Facebook posts, when you were lamenting your separation from rice. We have all gone through that, even though we have relapses, we'll go back again to rice and everything. But, we've gone through it,
Yeah.
How are you coping with that?
I realized that it'll be unrealistic of me to say that I will fully give up rice. It's not going to happen. So what I can do is I can limit the amount of time that I digest rice, consume rice, but then the better forms of rice. So 3 months ago, it was tough, but I can now digest brown rice and be happy. I can be happy. There's a lot of doctoring that needs to happen, but I can do it. The last 2 weeks, though, it's been terrible. I picked up several bad habits and I went back to white rice. Now it's jasmine rice. Jasmine Jasmine is that friend where you love her, but you just know that you can't have her all the time. She embarrasses you, make you look bad, make you force to exercise. So Jasmine and I are going through it right now.
I went through my own rice stuff. Rice was my love. I can eat rice every day, and then I saw that. Wow. So I went to brown rice after a while. Oh, brown rice. I tried everything, and then I went into what do they call this thing? Cauliflower rice.
Oh,
First,
I've tried that.
yeah, first time I read out, wow, this might be my solution, my substitute. After eating for a few, some times, and this is not rice, man. I'm just deceiving myself. That this is not rice.
Went through that too.
Anyway, I have finally settled for basmati rice, just a little portion of it once in a while, not all the time, not the way I used to do it. I don't eat, I don't go the Chinese rice any longer. I don't do Thai rice or any one of those one any longer. Just a little bit of rice is not bad. So
I'll be like you when I grow up. Right now, I'm in a battlefield.
well, you shall win this battle.
Amen. Amen.
Right, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Who is Esi?
Very, very good question. I always cheat. By the way, the name acronym you gave me or I was gifted, bestowed upon in Leader Lights, I cheat and I use that for every job interview. And every time you're like, wow, that was very comprehensive review. I'm like, yeah, I know. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll keep it short, but honestly, I am a hardworking, loyal woman, and I believe that my name acronym, Esi Omoh, embodies everything that I am spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. The E in my name stands for empower or empowerment. I love to be the catalyst, not just for change, but to be that person that comes into a land of chaos and be that bright light to say, you can do it. And let me show you how I can help you. Nobody should ever feel like the reasons why they are unable to progress, reach their goals are because of physical or earthly limitations. I'm not a pastor, so I can't really help you with spiritual limitations. I could pray in agreement, but that's about all I could do. But the E stands for empowerment. The S in my name stands for systems. I've come to realize that people have different definitions of systems. My definition is basically just saying, you have an idea, let's work it out, let's put a plan together, and then let's make it happen. No matter how small or big it is able to be done. I stand in my name for innovation, and I'm not the innovator as you will see of, oh, there's a tech innovation and there's this new app coming out. I like to use things that are commonly known for one purpose and then utilize it to create this very organic but supernatural impact on your life. That's where my innovation and my third.
Let me pause you to just say something about what you just said, because that's powerful. People think innovation is creating something new from nothing. But innovation has a different aspect. There is innovation of creating something new from nothing. There is innovation of combining things that exist to create something new.
Absolutely.
Rearranging things that exist to create something new. Yeah, so go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for that. You're absolutely right. The L in my name stands for lack reducer. I love it because you could have just said economically, financial, or something with the other E in my name, but lack reducer is so apt because what you don't know, my other, persona is coupon queen. If there is a lack, I like to identify it and then I like to eliminate it. All of my friends and family, they know that they can't come and talk to me. Oh, I bought this. And the first thing I say, did you use a coupon? A coupon code? Did you find a way? I even have joy. For a short while, I worked at the YWCA Domestic Crisis Shelter in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I used to host these discussions about how you can use coupons to not only go to the thrift store, buy food, but how you can actually get on the bus by using coupons with to get bus cards. And a lot of people in Grand Rapids were limited by transportation of the community we served. So in addition to giving them bus cards, we gave them education. So about how they can stretch out either food stamps, EBT cards, whatever, to really help them throughout the month. That was really a very fulfilling, joyous part of myself. The O, of course, in my name stands for order. Order and system goes hand in hand. I'm not the typical order, as you would say, of, oh, I am OCD, everything needs to be polished. No. But I do believe that in order to replicate success, we have to have an ordered system that is well oiled and replicable, so anybody can pick up the reins and carry that in their department or in their organization and see similar results or similar impact. The Z in my name, or Z, as my Nigerian people like to say, stands for zealous. I am high energy. I'm also can be very low energy, to be truthful. I rock the both on both areas, but I am easily excitable about a lot of things. Rice, couponing, and project management. I'll tell you a little bit about project management later. And then lastly, the A in my name stands for advocacy or advocate. I will fight for you. I found out at a very young age that I'm very open about love. I'm very open about, I can meet you 1 or 2 days, I connect with you. I will very humbly say, I love you. The moment I say I love you, I will fight for you. I will fight for whatever it is that you want me to do. Money is not a question. Time is not a question. I've gotten in trouble because of that, but by not setting boundaries. But I love the fact that I can go in and do something. Now, there's some people that have been on this Life 360 that have held political office, they've lobbied, or they've created apps. I do my advocacy very small, but I do believe that each and every one of us should not be outcast or feel sad that the change that they are making is not scalable globally. You don't know that yet. We might not even know your impact until you leave this earth. Whatever you do, picking up a garbage from the floor or speaking to somebody about the effects of climate change, which I'm also passionate about, can leave a long-lasting impression. You just might not be able to measure it. So I found out that while also working at the YWCA, I had the awesome privilege to go to DC. Like, I was lobbying. And this young Esi sitting down with senators and United States representatives, congressmen and women, and I'm just talking about immigration and everything. And they're listening. And I just remember saying that your voice does count. Everything you touch is blessed. And everything you touch will have a little bit of you left there. So whatever you do in this world, speaking a nice thing, walking out to the bus stop and saying, hey sis, I really like your haircut. Thank you. Come out here, There's another alter ego, but we're not gonna talk about that. But all in all, I am a person who's a lover of life. Life does hit me hard because I wear my heart on my sleeve. But honestly, while I need to find ways to, cushion myself, I love people, but I really just love the energy and essence of each individual person. I thank God that I have the opportunity to live in a country where I can express myself fully and be around people who are constantly changing and altering themselves based on whatever calling of life that God has for them.
Very good. Wow. Very comprehensive. Thank you for sharing that, And I just wanted to use that to maybe those who are watching who have done leading lights training and they have their name acronym. You see the way to use it. To just give you an example, use it for your job interviews. Use it when you meet your spouse and is proposing or she's proposing. Who are you? Just use the acronym and say, you want to know who I am? This is who I am, use it everywhere, everywhere. I actually taught my son, I helped them to do it, my sons. And I remember one time he was applying to a school, and so they asked him who he was. He just used his name acronym, and in the essay he wrote, he used his name acronym to describe himself. So during the interview, they were like, wow, we just love, because I was, I came and say, we just love, how you did the acronym of your name. And he said it was my dad that, that helped me to do it and all. So I mean, I will use that with my own acronym too. So very good, very good. So I mean, it's so good to see someone that knows like who they are, like you know it, like you know who you are based on what you just talked about, right? So, but I know that sometimes even though we are sure, right, we experience some self-doubt. Now we're going to go into some vulnerable aspect of your life right now. You're a very confident person, but I know that, sometimes you go through, all this self-doubt, you have these abilities, you have these graces that God has given you. But sometimes it will just come to you. Maybe, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's that. Even in your spiritual walk, right? You go through times of doubt, times, and all that. If you can talk about that, because somebody might be watching right now, and it's always good for us to be able to show that we all go through such things, right? But thank God, because God always allows us to find a place, either by people surrounding us with people, or by always bringing us back. So if you could just talk a little bit about your own evolution, your spiritual evolution, some of the things you want to share about, what you've gone through or you are going through, spiritually.
Absolutely. Disclaimer, I already said I could keep it real, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm so happy and blessed that you said I present as a confident person. I'm not. I'm really not a confident person. I aspire to be a confident person, and I'm going to try to keep faking it until I make it. It's hard being an individual in such a diverse world. It's also very hard being an individual that is not as multifaceted, but unique in her own way, like myself. There are different sides of me, which I can address spiritual, personal, and then I'll say professional. So I'll start with the professional side. There is a side of Esi that is goofy, fun-loving, jokester, and then there's a no-nonsense Esi, right?
That's the one that I'm scared of.
Yeah.
I like the goofy.
Yeah, I know. And, I like the goofy part too, but I find that there has been a clash when people meet fun-loving Esi in one environment and they say, oh, Esi, you do this too? Can you help me with my business? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And in the first meeting, I have a clipboard, everything we need to go through. My voice changes. There's no smiles. And people are either hit like, oh, wait, where's that fun Esi versus where's that professional Esi, and vice versa. So I'll talk about going from fun Esi to professional Esi and back and forth. When people who know fun Esi gets to professional Esi, who has a no-nonsense attitude, very, very clear cut of what needs to happen, there's some tension there because the very nature of who I am and how I solve problems, I like to identify issues, identify risks, and then mitigate them, or at least have a risk response that can be used when that moment of mitigation happens, or if this risk happens whenever. I find out that a lot of people don't like that, especially when I'm in more of a religious, spiritual environment. If somebody comes and says, I'm going to build a business that is selling cars today, everybody in this religious atmosphere is like, great job. Let's say the person's name is Jake. Great job, Jake. Praise God. May God order your steps and everything. And here comes Esi, right? Esi says, wow, that's a great job, Jake. But let's talk about how we can mitigate some things that might happen that you might not have known. Or let's kind of put some things on the table so that if something happens, we have these funds. apparently people don't like that part. And I find out that it's not an issue of do you want me to tell you the truth or not? It's people don't like to be confronted with their worst fears. I am one of those people who are saying, hey, just hit me with the fear, I'll deal with it. I find out that what has caused me to have self doubt in myself is when I come around those people that have met Goofy Esi, I question if my methods are sane, if my methods are foolproof, and if what I am doing in life actually has worked. Because I have a passion for small businesses, I have a passion for nonprofits, but I'm always around people who want to scale up and scale out, but they don't want to put in the work to assess risk, which is a passion area of mine. So I doubt myself. And then people are unable to separate, in my opinion, the professionalism side of me from who I am, which is a fun loving bunny who just wants to be loved. And I find out that my relationship with Peace, as you know, Pastor Peace, is one that I try to mimic a lot of my relationships on. I have a professional relationship with her and I have a personal relationship with her. We disagree a lot professionally because we're two different people. But the moment that conversation is over, we're like, hey, cool, you want to go get something to eat? And I really hope that a lot of people take what I'm saying to heart is who you're working with and these people that you're causing great changes with and building legacies with, they have a professional skill set, interaction, but they're human beings too. They have flaws, they have feelings, and they also want to be loved. And regardless of how they are interacting with you, not giving them a pass, their goal of being at the table at this discussion right now is to help you, right? I have an issue with how I can convey that in a softer way. And then
let me pause you. You continue. Let me just say something to what you just said that could help people that are watching us. So I tell every dreamer, I will say to every dreamer that you need to have two types of people around you. There are wow people and there are how people. So when you share a dream, wow people, they will be like, wow, amazing, great, come on. You need such people because wow people, they are cheerleaders, right? They are cheerleaders. They help you. Come on, you can do it. This and that and that. So they help you kickstart, jumpstart, do whatever. They keep you going on and all that. But that's not enough to sustain a dream. You also need how people. So how people are people that after all the wows and all that, and you talk to them, they will say, okay, so how do you plan to get this done now? So what are the practical steps and all that and that and that. So you need a balance of those types of people around you. Any dream, anything that you are trying to build, if you are always only with how people alone, you might lack motivation. You might lose confidence in what you are trying to do, because sometimes the how is a little bit more complicated, right, than the wow and all that. But if you're also always with the wow people, you're going to have a lot of dreams that have no feet, that they can't walk. Do you get what I'm saying? So you need to have a balance of that. Then the second thing is that every wow person needs to develop a little bit of a how, a how part. And then every how person should develop a little bit of a wow. So for example, my wife is a how person. My wife is how. I remember those days when we first got married, some of the early years, I would share my big dreams. Oh yeah, we're gonna do the other. She'll just look at me and she would just, she'll point to spreadsheets. She'll point like, so how are we gonna do this with this and this and that? So I'll just get angry. I'm like, I'm sharing this big dream with you. And, and all you are just talking about is how we're gonna do. We're gonna do. So later I began to learn.
But I feel like, and I feel, that's the kind of woman I am too. Not all the time, but I can feel for you, Pastor Debo. I'm just like that. But you know what I think is kind of unfair is the profession. If you went to your financial advisor and you say, "Hey, I'm trying to buy a house and a car," and the financial advisor tells you, "Oh, great, that's awesome." And you're like, "You're not gonna tell me like what are my risks? Is
Yeah.
this possible? What should I be aware of?" You think that you're not getting your money's worth, right? Because you have the understanding that financial advisor is going to tell you
Yeah.
things that you might not like.
Yeah.
Well, why can't we give that same level of grace to everybody to
Yeah.
say, here's my vision.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to strategic people in my life that's going to be the how and the why, right?
They will confront, they will challenge it, they will do all that, so that, because I'm still going to face those challenges in the world. If I can't handle the challenges of somebody who's trying to help me, I will have it to handle it when I get into the world, right? Yeah. So we need those kind of people. So let me just complete that with my wife. So I will be this and that. Then later I began to learn when I see things, how she will work, the systems of things and all that. So I started, calming that. But then later she too now learned. So she's not a wow how person. So she will first of all, she will just say, wow. Then she ask, okay, so how?
That's how you do it. That's how you do
it. But then she'll go to the default mode. Okay, how are we going to do it? So, and then I also started to learn to become more of a how, a how person, not just, the big picture dreamer. So I just wanted to say that that's the kind of person, you are being gifted to help people to find the how to fulfilling their mission. And I tell you that, people love cheerleaders, right? People love, they don't like generally, like the default is that people like people that cheer them. Oh, wow, you can do it and all that. But they don't necessarily like people that make them to confront certain things that are there, that are detrimental to the dream that they are trying to fulfill. So that's why you might experience, some of those pushbacks. So it's not because of you. It's because of the role that you are playing. That role that you are playing in people's life is just naturally people like when you have uncles, you have like the uncle that is always buying you sweets and everything. Not the one that is always telling you. Yeah. So go ahead.
No, I understand, but just being real, that same level of inequality is like what I like to call it for people who have personalities or skill set like me. It really weighs on me. It really has affected the way I interact with people. I try to stay really positive, but I kind of am developing a policy now where I'm like, if I meet you on a personal level, I don't know if I want to do business with you because I really love my relationship with you. And I don't want to have to go through that rigmarole and of trying to decipher, oh, let's have these boundaries. And every time I say something that is not quote unquote positive, I don't want to have to hit you with a LOL or a smiley face or a ha ha ha. I want to be my authentic self too, because I feel like I bring to the table certain skills that can really assist people in growing out their vision or really bringing their dream to life. On a spiritual level, I struggle with who I am because I'm a practical person. But I'm also a very whimsical person. So when I go to people, when I'm like, hey, I stubbed my toe and I'm going to you because you're a nurse, I'm looking for you to tell me maybe like, oh, let's pray. But because I'm a nurse, use some peroxide or whatever. But when I go and I hit with people who are, oh, let's just pray, I struggle. I'm going to be honest. I feel like praying is good. But while I'm praying, what should I be doing? What should I be doing? I know that people often quote faith without works is dead and whatnot. Sometimes I quote it too, but I feel like is that really what I'm trying to say? I'm just saying that when you're saying, I come to you and I say, hey, I'm in the negative right now. I need some money. You're like, okay, let's pray. But in the meantime, let's sign you up with some food pantries. Let's clip some coupons. Let's try to do a fundraiser. Like, what should I do? And I feel oftentimes it's okay if you don't have the answer, but I think that I'm in a phase in my life, especially with the pandemic and everything, that I'm really looking for people not just to hit me spiritually, but to hit me physically too. Like, add to my life, bring value in all spheres of me. And I naturally want to gravitate towards those faith-filled people because I feel like my faith has been topsy-turvy. I was the most strongest on fire for God when I was in college. Shout out to Pastor Lachey and the Grace for the Nations Church. That was the first church that I went to after I kind of dissociated myself from the Catholic faith. I grew up Catholic. Baptism, confirmation. I think the best thing my father did for me when I was being confirmed was he fought to have Esi Omoh be my name. So as you know, as you get confirmed, they give you an English name or a Bible name. My father says Esi Omoh means God directs the affairs of the world. If that's not close to God or being in the Bible, I don't know what it is. She's not going to be Mary, Sarah, Joe. No, Esi Omoh. So it didn't hit me until I was in college, and I was just really finding myself. And then the freedom in worship, the freedom is saying, I don't have the answers right now. I'm going to pray until God makes a move. But in the meantime, do I need to go to the prayer group? Do I just need to be around people that know God? We don't have to be talking about God, but being around positive people. Hey, come on over. Let's have some coffee. You know, something that I am not being stuck, because when you tell me you should just pray, I feel like you throw the ball back to me. I'm coming to you because I don't have no ball. I can't pray right now. I'm depressed. And you say, it's okay. Just go pray. People like me, I want some practical solutions that you can help me with. And if you don't know the answer, let me know. Don't just tell me pray and walk away. So it has affected the kind of person I am of wanting to plan out, this is how it's going to be, has really put me in a very weird place of people who are not planners, and then people who are really really planners that I'm not. It's like I'm never good enough. So I have a strong personality because the women in my family are strong, but I don't even like being called strong because strong is associated with somebody that is either physically adept in some area, solid, either emotionally and mentally. Nobody ever says, that's my role model. She's the best woman. She's a strong crier. She's strong for her emotionalism. And I really want to break that cycle. I am a very clear-cut person, but I am also a very emotionally led and emotionally filled person. I have owned that because I wouldn't work for people, or I wouldn't be as passionate for people's causes if I was not emotional. I can stay with you all night, helping you, whatever I need to do, because my heart is engaged. So I really kind of long-winded way of answering your question. But when you say, oh, she's very confident, I'm like, who are they talking about? Because I'm still trying to find my place. I'm 32 years old, and I've had a lot of experiences that unfortunately have not been the most positive when it comes to who I am and who I'm trying to establish myself in this world, or current world today.
Very good. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. There's a lot in what you just shared. And I believe that people who are watching us, they are picking up different things that they can learn from it. Well, the first thing that you talked about, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, the nuances of our personalities and the dichotomy of our perspectives, and all that. Just
Yeah.
that thing that we all go through of, is it this or that, this or that, this or, So first of all, we go through it within ourselves, confidence versus, not confident. We go through extrovert versus, introverted. We so it's like, whip, is a whiplash, or what they call it, like you just
Yeah.
go back and forth,
Whiplash.
almost like, bipolar and all that. Now we all go through those kind of things. I go through that. People they see me as an extrovert. A lot of people that don't know me think I'm an extrovert, but I am not. I am an introvert. But I have to be.
Same.
Yeah, I have to be, to do some extroverted thing to get what I need to get done, and all that. People think I love to talk. I don't like to talk. I like to think, right? So we go through the battle within ourselves. Then we now talk about meeting other people. The same thing plays out in spousal relationships, plays out in
Mm.
families, plays out you meet people. So, some people they are the how people that we talked about. They're the wow people that we talked about. So you have that clash. Then you talk about faith. We have those two sides of faith too. And what you just talked about is something that people have been battling theologically for centuries.
Oh God.
Paul was battling with them in the Galatians church. Faith versus works. People would say, you got to get circumcised and do this, versus those who say, just, you got to, have faith and all that, which James also spoke about. So what I have learned is this, that whatever position we have or where we are, either what the conflict going on within us, with other people, or in the area of faith, we should all know that we are a work in progress and we're growing. And we cannot deny ourselves, but God puts us with people, with all kinds of people, so that we move a little bit closer to this side, and then we move them also a little bit closer to that side. And then we just keep moving and moving a little bit until we find ourselves truly. Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. So I would say you don't worry about that. The process of a clash with this person or a clash within yourself and all that is a process of growth. It's a process of development. And you are still on that journey. We're all still on that journey. And then we'll land somewhere, and it's going to be a beautiful place that we land, because the most important thing is we know that God has already put certain things in us that cannot be denied. So I just wanted to say that to what you spoke about. Keep on being yourself, and with who you are, just just let people be, what they bring. Okay, listen. You listen to people, you love people, but just keep being yourself. And that's how the world is going to be, what the world is going to be, when all of us bring our full and authentic self to the table. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So tell me now, just going forward. This is I love this conversation. Going forward, uh just give us a little bit about your professional journey, like, especially with this systems thing. How did you come to that? Because I want us to now begin to talk about some of the things that you are doing or that you have done and all that. Yeah. Just how did you come to these systems? Tell us a little bit about your journey in that area.
Okay. Um, my journey with systems, I don't know when it started, but I know that for most of my adult life, it has been there and it started really making a presence to me and cognitively when I got irritated when I would hear people, I have this great idea. 3 years later, nothing has happened. I have this really good ideas, or they were like, yeah, I did this and I did that. I'm like, but you didn't do X, Y, Z. Why? So a little bit like academically, I have an undergraduate degree in biomedical science, and I minored in chemistry. Then I have a master's degree in public health. So I really just love the sciences because of the advocacy piece, but the very black and whiteness of it. Now, some people might argue in healthcare there's no black and white, there's the gray, but it's either you have access to healthcare or you don't. Either you're sick or you're not. Like, just in my brain, the absolutes, right? Working with people in that field allowed me to realize that I really enjoy order. I worked in an IT kind of department in one of the hospitals here in Chicago, and it made me realize that healthcare by itself is really being made to be scalable with the use of technology, right? So I was like, I love technology, I love healthcare. How can we make sure that when there's a new bed in the hospital, all nurses are trained so that nobody gets hurt in a systematic way? When residents come on their first year of residency and they need to do ethics training or be aware of everything that they need to do in the hospital, how can we large scale push something out to them? So it started off with the planning, right? So planning and programming and pushing and creating software, whatever, I realized that one thing that everything has in common is project management. A project could be as little as you baking a cake with one person to multi-million-dollar projects with teams of 350,000 people distributed around the world. And I knew that I was called to create systems, but more in a niche way, to use systems as a tool to educate people. And that's why I don't like calling myself just a project manager. I really see myself as an organizational developer. Like, I want to be able to come into your organization, do a health check and say, great, you have these 5 things you're doing now, and you have these other 3 things you want to do in 3 years. Let's put them in order. Let's put them in a phase or planning life cycle that allows you to see returns during the life cycle, but also be able for you to check off and say, hey, I'm doing something to stay motivated, but you know that 3 years later, you're going to have a finished product and not just a dream that was never came to fruition. I found out that when I was working in the different industries I have experience in, I found out that I'm making a lot of money for these corporations and government agencies, but the people that really need help, small businesses and nonprofits, I'm not helping them.
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, the reason is because I, to be very honest, when I thought about small businesses and nonprofits, I thought about chaos, but it wasn't the exciting chaos as what I was used to in corporate America. Everybody's on board, everybody's motivated either by the money, the salary, or the finished product. Sometimes in a nonprofit or small business world, it's kind of like every man or woman for themselves. There's a lot of competition in a very strange way, but there's also multiple people wearing multiple hats. So they don't have the funds to have a dedicated resource that says, all I do is just manage a project. So that's what I said after having conversations with small business owners. And I look at what they're trying to do, little things that can be executed out in 3 months or less, was taking them years because they weren't aware of how they can manage multiple projects in the same time constraints, but yielding so much more results. So that's when I said, look, okay, I love organizational development. I love helping people execute their strategic initiatives. How can I help? I love planning. I love educating. Well, let's talk to them. Let's have a conversation about project management. Let's shed some mystique or some myth about what it is and how easy it is to be used. As you know, there are 2 different camps. There's the traditional waterfall project management, and there's the agile. Wow. And I found out that a lot of people were just like trending agile. I want to be agile. And I was like, there's a difference between doing agile and being agile. Are you really, really ready to be agile? Because if you're not, we need to stick to traditional waterfall, which just simply says we have these 5 simple stages: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, and closing. We already have kind of a set list of things we want to do. We've done our research. Usually you use it in like manufacturing. You have a specific set of supplies you have to use. You know what you're building, how you're going to build it, and when it's going to be ready. But then there's the agile where you might not know how something is going to happen, but you want to build an app that is going to help people read the Bible faster. I don't know anything about apps. I don't know anything about hosting or whatever. As you can tell, I'm not an app builder. But I know that this is what I'm trying to get to. So let's use a more flexible system that allows us to use multiple iterations of these phases so that we can get feedback in real time during the development stage instead of using traditional waterfall, which usually doesn't get feedback until the end when we present the deliverable to the sponsor and say, hey, you're done. So I found out that a lot of small businesses really did not need to be agile. Nope, you're not ready for agile. You need to know exactly, you have $1,000. This is what you need to do. There can be no experimentation. This is how you need to get there, right? And I'm just, just going in big summaries. But I found out that once people understood that project management can allow their businesses to become self-sufficient, they can be more confident in their goals. They have more data to go to their board of directors, sponsors, whatever that they need to really advocate for not only their organization, but the people that they're trying to serve. And I found out that before we even talk about project management, a lot of nonprofits and small businesses just needed order. Simple. You don't even need a project. The project can be, how can we make sure we have a shareable repository for all of our documents? Let's implement Google Drive, Sometimes little things can give your organization or business a wider reach or a bigger impact, but people don't even know that it's only 2 of y'all or just one of people in this whole entire organization. And I found that a lot of people hunger for that. They want to scale up and scale out, but they want to use technology in order for them to be more efficient and effective. Amen. A lot of people mistake efficiency with efficacy, 2 separate things. You can be efficient and not really be affecting the population you want, or you can be effective and not being really as efficient cost-wise, time-wise in the constraints that you have. So just with a little conversation and letting them know that, hey, you don't need to know all of this. I can actually come and help you build out the framework, show you how to do it. So when I leave, you can replicate this for all of the projects that you have in your small business without having to spend more dollars to get to your end goal.
Wow, powerful. I'm still going to ask you a question on that aspect in a moment, or to build up on that. But I wanted to ask you, at the beginning, you shared about your name, from Leading Lights. So you went through the Leading Lights training, I think maybe a few times, and then you facilitated Leading Lights training, help build the Leading Lights training. Tell us about Leading Lights. What was the impact on you, and what's your whole perspective about that for those who are watching here?
Sure. I've watched a lot of these interviews, and everybody comes in and they say, I was enjoying myself in Leading Lights, and it was amazing. I took Leading Lights 3 times, and the first time was when Leading Lights was being held once a quarter. So it was 4 sessions, but the last 2 sessions, due to health issues, I couldn't finish it. Then I came back and I took Leading Lights again, and I wrestled with myself. I was the one in the corner being sad and crying and emotional. At one point in time, I actually got belligerent with you, Pastor.
I was sad.
Yes, and everybody is like, oh, my life has changed. And I was like, this is what life changing is. Like, life changing isn't sweet and an epiphany and enlightenment for everybody. It's you're getting punched in the face with the truth of who you are and who you are not.
Mhm.
And I came to the realization that I hate chaos. And hate is a strong word, but I hate it. I despise chaos. Chaos breeds confusion. It breeds people being on opposite sides. But if we could just come together and have a little bit of order, we can see things clearly and make a decision.
Yeah.
I found that out in a second. I said, no, I need to do this the third time because I'm not really sure I got it the first 2 times. And then, oh, that's when it hit me. And I got more belligerent. I actually walked out of Leading Lights because Pastor Lynn was saying something. I think it was something about social media. And social media is not my strong suit, but I'm going to get there one day. And I was challenged with the fact that in order to grow my business or just grow anything and scale up, I need to be able to tap into people in non-traditional methods. And I realized that me fighting you was not even about social media. I was being confronted with my fear of putting myself out there, putting my face out there, putting my words out there. And maybe 10 years from now, I want to run, I'm a UN representative. And they're like, wow, Esi was on Leading Lights talking about what? Is this? No, really embracing my fears. And then I realized if I felt this way, there are other people out there who feel the same way I do. I do not like, being honest again, being around people that are established. Not because I hate them or I'm jealous. It's because I'm uncomfortable with the fact that here is a physical representation of somebody who knows who they are and has been able to successfully replicate who they are in their product, their business, or their initiative. There are other people out there like me who are floundering. There are other people like me who go to networking events, and when they say, tell me about yourself, they're like, oh, yeah, I have this small business, and I'm really not doing a lot in. So I said, all of these things that I hate about myself and how I want to be better, I'm going to utilize my strengths in revitalizing or bringing change and impact to the Leading Lights program so that we can touch more people.
Yeah.
For a while, we were touching people who were established. I have my own business. I met, Pastor Lynn in some business conference or some conference where people were knowing each other or trying to know each other. But there's Susie May on the street who has great business acumen, but she's selling wigs out the car of her trunk because she's scared that she'll never be able to have a brick and mortar or online business. Enter in Esi, enter in how I can help you through Leading Lights. Did you know that you can actually sell your products online without you even having to know anything about computers? Oh, I'm not really sure. No, that's okay. When you enter the Leading Lights network, we have other people who can either build a CRM system for you for scratch, or we can use some other site, Wixby, I don't even know what they're called anyway, to help you utilize features out there. Or we can just say, let's start small. Let's just start you with a Facebook page. But you being outside of your trunk is not reaching the people that need your products. There are people who will love to put on your wig. Let's show you how you can do that, how you can align this very earthly skill that you have been blessed with the calling that God has for you to help people.
Yeah.
That's how I can give back. I can't maybe always donate money. I can't always sit on a panel and be a paragon of virtue or be a subject matter expert in the field. But I can tell you how you can get a coupon and how you can get a Zoom account so that you can have presentations online in the pandemic. I surely can.
Much more than that. You came into LDC, Light Development Center, Leading Light, and you really, really did work on that program. You revamped the PowerPoint, you revamped the system, revamped so many things. And now is even reaching more people, and also having, you came in and worked on the systems, you brought in interns and all that. And all that right now is helping us to expand internationally and into other areas, like purpose in the workplace, purpose in the high schools, and all that we're working on right now. So I wanted to publicly thank you for that. I really appreciate that, because you really brought a lot of value, and those values, continue to live on and, transform people. So let's talk about how you can help those who are watching now. I know that people are watching, and a lot of them have dreams that are either in the incubation stage, or they've taken a step out in the implementation stage, right? And they're still trying, but they know they have this big dream. They know this thing can really transform lives. This is what they believe God has given them, but they lack the systems. What do you say to those people, and how can you help them? How can they take their dreams to become orderly, to become, built up in such a way that it can really, really begin to fulfill, the desires that they have?
Absolutely. Very great question. And I want to start off with, while I joke a lot and I really don't like to focus on my professional part, especially for this interview, because I just want to be myself. But I do find out that a lot of people are in that category of what can I do? And I remember when I was in a starting, I don't like to use the word entrepreneur. I don't identify as that. You're just building your business because you want to scale up. And I often would get so upset when I met a subject matter expert, and they'll say, well, you just need to read a book and you just need to increase your knowledge. And I'm like, maybe I either don't want to do that, or number two, I just don't have the wherewithal or the business acumen to digest. Number one, just put yourself out there and get a consultant or a company or an individual that you trust that has very good, I like to say, assessment of your business, to just tell you, hey, what are some areas that you're not doing well in? It doesn't have to be a big, great financial analysis. It can be, do you have a social media account? Get somebody to do that work for you. Unless you really want to be interested in the nuances, get somebody to do that assessment for you. You can read, you already know that. You can take quizzes and, meet and network in online forums, but sometimes you need a fresh assessment. I am part of an organization called Collective Initiatives. One of my very close friends, her name is Lanice Lee. She is the CEO.
She's watching. She's been commenting.
Oh, I didn't even know. Hey, girl. Yeah, yes. She is also very passionate about it. And she shares this vision with me. And I am also affiliated with a lot of other organizations that say, in order for you to build up, you can't do it by yourself. And I feel like in a lot of entrepreneurship circles, especially around my age group, it's all about how I can differentiate myself from the pack. And it's like, hey, if you want to scale up and reach global markets and you know nothing about international business, you know nothing about marketing, why kill yourself to start learning a skill? Learn enough to definitely know what's happening, but why don't you join arms with somebody and trade and barter? You don't even have to exchange money. You help me with social media, I help you with project management, XYZ. So I would say I would love to be a point of contact for somebody who just says, hey, I already have my business plan. What should I do now? Where can I start? I really pride myself in hitting people with the first line of defense, which are free resources, free technology features or sites that can assist you to have the ground level work so you can make a choice on how you want to scale up. You don't always have to throw money on everything. You do want to invest value into yourself and your business, but I think the most value you can bring to yourself is through knowledge gained by people doing health checks on your business to see where you are, where you're trying to go, and is that really the community you're trying to impact?
Okay. So if I come to you, I have a small business, or somebody comes to you, what value will you add quickly? Like what will you do for that person?
Number one, I can guarantee you that I will create a clear path in how I can make your dreams come true, but also how we can better help the environment or the community that you're trying to serve. A lot of small businesses, they get kind of stuck into the how can I build my business and forget the original reason, their passion and desire of why they started it. I want to be that intermediary where I can slice out any barriers that you're experiencing and eliminate them so that it can free you up to actually serve the community that you are called to serve. So I offer a range of services, but I don't like to really talk about services. I really like to talk about the impact. And the number one impact that I can bring to you is peace of mind that you are doing everything you can to really make your dream come true, but the mission and vision of your organization is felt now as well as in the legacy for many years to come.
Awesome. So if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way they can reach out to you? If they need help with their business, they want to hire you as a consultant.
Number one, you can reach me via my email. It's my first and last name at gmail.com, Esi Omoh at gmail.com. I would love to have conversations with people, and then we can have further conversation if you would like to hire me on or add me to your network, your arsenary. Arsenary? Did I make that word up? I surely did. I surely did. But if you would like to add me to the tools in your toolbox and how you can actualize the vision you have. Arsenal. There we go. Look at that. Out here on Life 360 making up new words.
Good. It's innovation. We already talked about innovation. You can make new things.
Exactly.
All these words that we're using, somebody made them up,
That's true.
That's
true.
Also, I have two more questions for you, and I'm going to let you go. So give us a big picture. Esi in 10 years, 20 years, what impact do you want to make in the world? We're always talking Leading Light about kingdom impact. What do you want to leave this generation with? Tell us about that.
I'm going to try to say that without being emotional. Nobody's ever asked me that question. I just, not to be in a professional or emotional or spiritual place. I want people to know that they are the way they are for a reason. I hate to hear anybody tell me I have too many skills or I don't have enough skills or whatever. You have a place here. You just haven't been thinking about it differently if you're running into some challenges. And that's where the innovation comes. But if I was to leave anybody that I've touched either professionally, personally, is you are the way you are for a reason. You are beautiful inside and out. Don't let anybody tell you that you're different, but that what makes you different is really that secret sauce. I always look at myself as a delicious plate of jollof rice, right? Jollof rice is a dish that, as opposed to other places, rice is not a side, it's the main meal. That is the meal. And while God has created me with these very select, minute, specific seasonings or ingredients, the way you add those ingredients and the time you add those ingredients changes the way that jollof rice tastes. So the God-given skills you have been forged into this dish, but then there's an additional sides with it, the meat, the fish, the whatever that is also going with the meal. And those are those physical skills that God has also blessed you with. You are not just the rice or just the protein. You're all of it. And sometimes your rice can be spicy. Sometimes your rice can be bland, but at the end of the day, you are what God envisioned you to be. And I can come into your life and say that anybody that I have seen might not be physically be the best role model or whatever, but they have an initial spark, and that spark is what God has given them. And I want to be able to just walk with you on this journey so that I can help you see how other people see you. Not to come in and say, how can I scale up your business? I want you to realize who you are and see how other people see you so that you can make even more impact across the globe.
Awesome. So meaning that, you know, in years to come, through God's grace, we're going to see many realized people all around the globe through the work and the ministry and the gift of Esi Loza. So
Amen.
last question for you. Every one of us will pick up things along the way as we advance and grow in God, in life. We pick up certain things that become principles that we build our lives on. Can you share with us, with everybody watching, some things that undergirds your life right now, in terms of principles that you live by, that you could tell, like a 15-year-old comes to meet you and say, hey, Auntie Esi, can you just tell me, what are your principles for life? How do I handle life or succeed? You know, from your perspective, what are some things that you have learned? What will you say to them?
Oh, number one that jumps out at me is integrity. I have conversations with my peers all the time, and I say, I really pray to God every day that I never get to the place where I sacrifice my integrity for the next dollar or for scaling up my business. If I am offering you something at this price, I am not going to add extra dollars to it. Yes, I will make a profit, but I believe that having integrity and honesty is something that you can just never buy. It's who you are. It's your calling card, your lasting legacy. Have integrity. Be truthful. Be honest. God will do the rest. You just got to do. Something else I'll say is be yourself, but with a little caveat. Know when to show your whole self. I've run into issues where when I was growing up, I didn't have a role model. Now, there are people that I admired, don't get me wrong, but I didn't have a role model because I never saw anybody that was like me. Being goofy, but knew in a time to be very serious, just being very open. I haven't yet met anybody. I know there are people that exist out there, but I realized that the parts of me that I showed in a wrong setting or at the wrong time had disastrous effects. So I'll say be yourself, but know when to show your whole self. And I think that encapsulates a lot of things. Everybody knows that's a given. Trust God. Do your best to know him. Do your best to live by his principles and his laws. Everything else to come. But in a time when you fall short, ladies and gentlemen, you're normal. Don't fall for the hype where anybody tells you, oh, you messed up, now you have to right your wrong. That's between you and God, okay? You confess, try to make it better the way you can, but don't let anybody tell you there's a time limit on when you can be depressed. There's a time limit on when you can change or be great. We have 70, 80-year-olds going back to school and getting their bachelor's they never did. I'm not here to pump your head up. I'm not going to tell you the sky is your limit. People do have limitations that are lower than the sky. What I will say is just if you try, give it a good effort and keep trying. Not just try and not tired. Like you're going to be fatigued, but come out of it sometime 1 month, 1 year, 3 years later and say, I'm going to try again. If you can promise yourself to keep trying, you will eventually get to a place where you'll be satisfied with the impact that you tried to make in the world and for yourself. Just keep trying. And eventually you will learn enough from all of your attempts to make perfection closer of where you're trying to go.
Very good. Awesome. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. Those are powerful principles. Well, everyone, that is Esi Loza Uh, we've had
MC Ricey Ice,
MC
DJ Jazzy Jalop.
DJ Jollof, systems, innovator, and everything. Thank you so much for coming on, Esi. Thanks for being authentic. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being open. Thanks for using your gifts to bless other people. People are watching from different countries, and something you have dropped has gone into somebody somewhere in one nation, and they're going to use it. And your dream of having people realized all over the world is coming to pass gradually. So don't give up on it. I want you to know that I believe in you. I love you, and I'm going to keep on rooting for you. So I'm looking forward to Esi fully realized, many
and I'm very serious too about people reaching out. I would love for you to reach out to me.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation.
I'm going to say, I want to say to everybody, Esi is somebody that I have depended upon in my own vision. Like I told you in this, when we were discussing earlier, to get things done. I know she has the stuff. She has the goods. She's not just a talker. She's a doer. Esi will bring out she will bring out the potentials in whatever dream that you have. She'll bring it out. You'll make it workable, give it fit. So I want to encourage you all to reach out to her and lean on that. So please, Estiloza at Gmail.
Esi
Omoh. I think we had it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it so I can show it again to people, to reach out, to her. Estiloza Omoh. I have it somewhere here. Well, maybe they can help me type it again. I will show it.
Yeah, it's ESILOZAOMOH@gmail.com. As I already said, social media is not my strongest suit, but I am working on reaching the diverse people of the world, one internet channel at a time. So looking forward to see how you can also be of value to me. So I'm all about stirring that pot of knowledge. So please contact me. I would love to hear from you.
And what's the name of your company again?
It's called ESI Logistics Network. Good. So come on, be part of the network. ESI stands for Empowered Systems Innovation.
Innovation. So please, guys, reach out to Esi. I recommend her. I recommend her. Reach out to her. Let her help you fulfill your dreams. Let her help you put some feet to it. So, and God bless you. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please, let's appreciate Esi. Please, let's appreciate her. Let's appreciate her.
Thank you so much, everybody, for having me.
So let's appreciate her. She's been a blessing. So Esi, we appreciate you. And everyone, want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family. Thank God for all the blessings of life. It's going to get better. God has been faithful, and God will keep you. So we're going to sign off right now, and we'll see you next week again for the final week of Light 360 Season 2. And so it's network, So all right, everybody, bye.